All right, good afternoon, everyone. Julie Kay here with Jeb in the Live Impact studio. We have a lot of important stories, of course, that we need to get to today, both nationally, statewide, and here in Charlotte and Mecklenburg County, and some live things coming up in the next half hour. So stay tuned. We've got a live press conference that we're going to bring you. But first, we're going to start here locally in the city of Charlotte and at the state level. So as we all know about that CMPD investigation into the CMPD payout that Chief Jennings received months ago, City Council and the city government was really on blast publicly and at the state level with a state auditor investigation. Today, just in the last couple hours, we got the results of that special report from State Auditor Dave Boliek. So taking a look at some highlights here, this they say highlights a lack of transparency and urgency related to the release of the closed minutes, which still has not happened from that closed session where the city council decided on this payout to Chief Jennings. Of course, some background, if we've talked about this a lot, but this is a very confusing situation. So you may remember back in May when this was first initially kind of hitting the news and hitting the social media. There were reports initially of this payout. We did not know how much there was. The reports were that this was about a disagreement between CMPD Chief Johnny Jennings and former Councilman Tark Bakari. Now, Tark Bakari left to join the Trump administration, which he recently also stepped back from, but that spot was open. However, when Tark Bakari was in city council, he and Chief Jennings pretty publicly disagreed about the use of CMPD wearing outer carrier vests. Tark Bakari was pushing for it. Chief Jennings was pushing against it. And in that disagreement, in that dispute, Chief Jennings say that his rights were violated and that this was beyond a disagreement, both publicly and privately. So we did get the information about that settlement, about $305,000 that was going to be paid to Chief Jennings. However, they only got this information after the state auditor announced they would be investigating. Chief Jennings worked with the city attorney and city leadership to make sure that he could legally announce this information. That also came with a retirement announcement that he would be stepping back and retiring on January 1st of 2026. So we've got that press release up from the state auditor's office. So I'm going to read some of it here if we can pull that up. Stand by. This is a quote from State Auditor Boliek. We launched this investigation because the people of Charlotte deserve to know how their money is being spent. This is the people's money, and it shouldn't be kept behind closed doors. Our report brought transparency to the city of Charlotte. However, as shown in the mayor's response, city leadership doesn't share our interest in being open and transparent about spending people's money. So some pretty heated words from the state auditor. They go on to say the payment had been kept from the public until that announcement was made that the auditor would be investigating this. So that is really where this kind of comes to a head. Now, the investigation from the state auditor did continue even after that number information was released by Chief Jennings and by the city. Just kind of as we can see here, highlighting what they say is a lack of transparency. They have some action steps going forward so that this does not happen again at the city level. So let me see if I can pull up those here. Yes, so we got 3 bullet points. Number 1, improve transparency in settlement reporting. The city should consider adopting a more nuanced policy or practice regarding the release of information related to settlements with employees. While much information related to settlements with employees may be confidential personnel information, at a minimum, the amount paid to an employee as a result of the settlement agreement is public information. So that is from the state auditor. Second recommendation is timely release of closed session minutes. As I mentioned, when this first kind of hit the news in May, this was all kind of closed session information. We could not get that official confirmation until Chief Jennings released it himself. And even to this day, we still have not gotten those closed session minutes from the city of Charlotte. Number 3 would be reevaluate use of general fund for settlement payments. He goes on to write, the city of Charlotte should reassess its treatment of substantial settlement related costs, particularly those incurred to avoid potential litigation as normal operating expenses, and charging such costs to the city's general fund. Part of this investigation was looking into where that $305,000 came from. The majority of it came from the general fund. State auditor says that should not be the case going forward.